Hello, fifth graders. This is Ms. Burns coming at you with our next lesson, which we are on lesson 19. All right, and the topic is seeking help. Okay.
So today we're going to start with our music video that we have been listening to for the past few weeks, the Step Up music video. But to remember what we went over in our last video, we're going to, because remember the last video we had talked about making a plan, okay? And so now let's figure out how many times they say, make your plan in the video. Okay, so we're listening for the words, make your plan.
Here's a great way to remember. Keep it strong in your head, yeah. After the storm of strong emotions, here's the way to solve the problem, yeah. I said step. I just remember to step. Oh, child. You say the problem out loud now. Now think solutions that may work and how. Explore consequences, what would happen if. Now pick the best solution and make your plan, yeah. You got to step up to be cool, yeah. S-T-E-P. Give your power now after the storm of strong emotion. S-T-E-P. Solve the problem now. Now listen to me, all you good people. There's nothing wrong with strong emotion, but after you calm it down, you still got a problem, see? Now you gotta fix it, and you can. Oh, you step up. Let me show ya. Say you're in line and a kid come cuts in front of ya. Whoa, that make you mad, brothers and sisters. So feel it and calm it and take another look, yeah. Whoa, let me show you now. You say the problem out loud now. You both want to be first in line, no blame. Now think solutions that may work and how. Now these gotta be safe and respectful, no pushing, no shoving, see? Explore consequences, what would happen if. How will other people feel? How will you feel? Will it work? Now pick the best solution and make your plan, yeah. Choose it and act on it. You got to step up to be cool, yeah. S-T-E-P. Give your power now after the storm of strong emotion. S-T-E-P. Solve the problem now. You say the problem out loud now. Now think solutions that may work and how. Explore consequences, what would happen if. Now pick the best solution and make your plan, yeah. You got to step. I just remember to step. Oh, child, say you wanna step. You got to step, you got to step. Oh yeah, step.
Okay. So how many times do we hear the word make your plan? We heard it 3 times. Okay. Pretty much every time they said the steps, we had heard make your plan in that. Okay. So today we're going to continue exploring the best ways to solve problems. Today, let's start with looking at a picture. Okay. So we're looking at this boy right here. Okay. What kind of feelings do you think the boy is having in this picture? A lot of people are really good saying overwhelmed, sad, just frustrated. I did have someone say mad, but I was like, well, look at his face. Does he look mad? No, he doesn't really look mad. It just looks like he has a lot and he's trying to balance it all, right? Also, some other ones that kids didn't come up with, but said maybe he's tired, because if you had that much on you, you tend to get tired, maybe worried. So this student has a lot going on in his life, and he could use the problem-solving steps to think of solutions and make a plan. What are the problem-solving steps? Well, we just heard it from the video. Say the problem, think of solutions, explore consequences, and pick the best solution. So sometimes you can feel so overwhelmed that the best thing to do is ask a teacher or other trusted adult for help. Why is it sometimes hard to ask for help? Well, as probably most of you guys know, it's very hard to ask for help because it can be embarrassing, especially if you feel like you're the only one who doesn't understand it. You might feel shy. I know we have a bunch of fifth graders that are really shy, and if I don't call on them, they're not going to say anything. You might not want to admit that you need help. Or sometimes, like I get this a lot more with parents. Like parents will call me and ask me for help a lot of the times, and I'm like, well, I'm not the right person to get you the help that you need. Let me tell you who to contact. But in an earlier lesson, you learned that being assertive is the best way to communicate what you need or want here at the school. I forget what lesson it was. Let's see. I know it was a really early on lesson. Let's see. Where's the assertive? Being assertive. That was in lesson 3. So that was a really long time ago. But remember, we talked about being aggressive, which is very in your face and yelling kind of behavior. And then we have passive, which is quite the opposite, which is more quiet, maybe can't really communicate what they need and kind of more goes into themselves instead of in your face. And assertive is in the middle. It's where you should be. It's where you keep your head up, your shoulders back, your voice firm and calm, and you communicate what you really need, okay? Using respectful words as well. So today you're going to explore problems best solved by getting help from a trusted adult using the problem-solving steps. You'll pick asking for help as the best solution. Then you'll practice being assertive when asking an adult for help. So as you watch the next video, think about what Caden needs to do to get his project done. So think about what Caden needs to do to get his project done.
About 2 weeks ago, a teacher sent a big project. If I had started working on it right away, everything would be okay. But now everything's not okay. The project is due on Monday and I still haven't started. I'm so far behind and I don't even know where to begin. Plus, I have to practice every day after school. And this weekend, I have to help babysit my little brother while my mom's at work. Okay, I know I have to calm down. I'll just say what the problem is. I have a project due next week and I haven't started it yet. Now, if I could just think of a solution. Maybe I could pretend to be sick on Monday. I know, I could ask him if I could copy his paper and turn it in. I could just do it really fast and hope it looks okay. When I thought about the consequences, I realized none of the ideas I first came up with were going to be very good. So I still had a really big problem and I didn't know what to do about it. Finally, I decided to ask an adult for help. I decided to ask my teacher what I could do.
So what did Caden do to calm down? I have to say, when I asked this question, a lot of people were kind of talking about the problem-solving steps. But remember, the last unit, we talked a lot about calming down, okay? And even somebody sang the song, stop, then you'll feel and calm down. Okay, so his stop signal was okay, okay. And he didn't really say his feeling, but he said, I know I have to calm down. And then he took a deep breath. So that was the calming down part, okay? And then Caden did, that's right, calming down helped Caden state the problem. He said, I have a project due next week and I haven't started it yet. So that's the problem. So then Caden did T, think of a solution. What solutions did Caden think of? And everyone really got this. He thought about just pretending to be sick, copying off his friend, just doing it really fast and hoping it looked okay, or asking for a teacher for help. The next step is E, explore consequences. So there are a lot of positive and negatives. So if you're pretending to be sick, some of the positives are that you might get out of turning it in that day, but some negatives might be you might have to turn it in as soon as you get back. So, you're just kind of pushing your problems back a day. And does that really solve anything? And then not only that, you add days to the days that you've already missed. And if you've already missed a lot of days, and that could be a truancy issue. I know that's things that you guys don't think about, but it's things that we think about as we work in the school. So it could be a truancy issue. Also, if you get caught by your parents or by the teacher, you could get in a lot of trouble for skipping school. So there's a lot more negatives than positives for that one. And then the other one, copying, maybe you might be able to get away with it and do some work, but then if you get caught, then you're plagiarizing, and that's a big deal. I know usually that's automatic suspension, sorry, not suspension, suspension. Once you get into college, if you plagiarize, then that's an expulsion. But I think at y'all level, it's more of a suspension. But yeah, people are really serious about putting your name on someone else's work, and then doing it really fast and just hoping it looks good. Is that going to be enough to get the grade that he wants? And it sounded like he just really wanted to copy off of his friend really quickly. And then when he asked the teacher for help, there's negatives. She could say no, or she could say yes, and she could actually sit down and help her. So really the asking teacher for help is the only one that has multiple positives, while the rest have multiple negatives. And we always want to more go toward the positive than the negative. So let's see what Caden does next.
When I thought about the consequences, I realized none of the ideas I first came up with were going to be very good. So I still had a really big problem, and I didn't know what to do about it. Finally, I decided to ask an adult for help. I decided to ask my teacher what I could do. I practiced how I'd ask because I knew it wasn't going to be easy. I was afraid she'd be mad at me. I knew I'd be a little embarrassed too. I planned to go early to school because I knew my teacher would be there and it would be quiet in the room. Miss Rosen, I need to talk to you about our project. I haven't started to work on it yet and I really need some help. Would you help me?
Okay, Caden. I appreciate your taking responsibility and asking for help. Let's see what we can do.
So once Caden had decided to ask the teacher for help, what did he do? Well, first he made a plan. He practiced his assertiveness skills to help ask, okay? So he did practice in the mirror. I think almost everyone laughed when they saw him practicing it in the mirror. But it was a good way to start because he was practicing like looking at the other person and all this other stuff. How did being assertive help Caden? Well, he was able to get his teacher's attention, and his teacher knew that he was serious. Okay. So now we're going to do a skill practice. And who remembers why we practice? To get better, to build those connections in our brain, and to make the skills more permanent. Okay. And I have to look it up because I completely ran out of worksheets today when I did the class. Okay. All right. So first what I had everyone do is write down a problem that they might have had. So think about a problem you've had in the past or one that you might have now that you need help with. This problem might involve school, friends, family, sports, or another activity. It should be a problem that you've tried to solve on your own but couldn't. Okay. Yeah, I'll kind of give you one that I had when I was in high school. Yeah, this was when I was a senior. I was in dancing, and I was chosen to be in the opening number, along with someone else who was a senior, like I was. And we couldn't make it to one of the practices because, and it was a new dance that we were learning. So, you know, we would just go over like small bits of the dance. And so, you know, I was graduating that night. So it was like, well, I can't miss my graduation just to go to this practice. So I did approach my dance teacher, and I said, you know, Miss Eileen, that was her name, Miss Eileen, I can't make it. I'm graduating that day. Like, this is a very important day. My mom and dad are so excited, but I'm really excited about being in the opening number. What should I do? And she said, okay. What you can do is you can get with someone to learn the dance, and when we have practice, show me that you know the dance and you can be put in it. I said, okay. Ended up not solving anything, but anyway, that was me approaching an adult for help. And that was a good example of something that I was able to come up with my dancing teacher, so that I was able to figure out both. Okay. And it was really hard because my dancing teacher was kind of mean. And that's why I said it ended up not working out. What happened was I did end up going, and I learned it from this girl, and we practiced, but we only practiced it for a short while because I had to go to work because I was working then too. And then I showed up I didn't show up for practice. What happened was I slept through practice. I was so tired from working and graduation and dancing that I ended up sleeping through practice. And so I still ended up getting taken out, even though I tried my hardest. But I was like, you know what? I tried. But still, even approaching her was really hard because she was kind of mean. She was quick to pull people out of the dances. And, you know, dancing was a big part of my life growing up. So, you know, even approaching her to say like, hey, this is really important. Like, you only graduate from high school once. Like, I can't miss it for dancing, you know? And so she did come up with a good solution. It was just, you know, I didn't end up meeting my end all the way like I should have. Okay. So that would be my problem. Okay. So then I had you practice with your partner, using your assertiveness skills to talk with the adult. Okay. And so, yeah, I kind of had to think, okay, Miss Eileen, I see that we're learning a new dance I think it was called Control. To Control on Tuesday, that is my graduation day. You know, what can I do to do both? You know, and then she was able to say, okay, this is what you can do. And so even approaching with that assertiveness is something that you can practice. And I know that the kid, you guys say a lot of the times the teachers get very frustrated, and I can see that because I can even see Miss Eileen being frustrated because, it's just like, all this planning goes into it, and it's just the only time that works. And actually, I think Miss Eileen was planning a wedding at that time too. Now that I remember back, I think that was the year she got married. So yeah, it's like, wow, okay, yeah. So everyone does have a lot on their plate. So I can see why a teacher would be frustrated, especially when something like Caden's situation where he had 2 weeks and he's just coming up to her and saying, I haven't started. Yeah, can you help? I can see how a teacher would be frustrated and just not feeling heard or listened. But hopefully teachers kind of more take, the same approach I did. Like, for instance, I went through these directions for how to do the problem, like at least twice. And then somebody came up and was like, Miss Burns, I'm confused. Can you explain? I said, okay, what you're doing is you're coming up with a problem and you're writing it on your own, and then you're practicing with your partner how to ask for help. So I just tried my best to keep a calm voice, even though I'm like in my head, I'm like, I just explained this twice, So yes, it's true. A teacher might get frustrated and a teacher might say, I just explained this. But to me, like, something like that doesn't really get you into trouble usually. And so to me, it's worth it to at least ask, especially if you don't understand. Okay. So, and what I did for them was I had a little bean bag, and when they caught it, they had to ask me their problem. And some people had some really good ones. Like, I know my little 5th grader that had her wrist broken. She said, can you help me write down the answer since my wrist is broken? I was like, oh my gosh, that's a great thing to ask, because that's a great thing to ask for teachers. Yeah, because especially since she's, and I remember I heard Coach say, just write it with your left hand. It's very hard for me. I know, and she's actually ambidextrous. She can write with both hands. I can't. I'm very right-handed, can only write with my right hand. If you put a pencil in my left hand, it looks like a kindergartner wrote it. So I did ask them, was it difficult to ask? A lot of people did say yes. And when I asked them why was it difficult to ask, some people did finally raise their hand and just say it's embarrassing to ask. It's hard to ask. But what assertiveness skills did you use when you were asking for help? Well, like I said, you can always practice like keeping, straight posture, using a firm, clear voice, and using respectful words. Like me telling my dancing teacher, like, are you crazy scheduling something on the night of my graduation? Yeah, but like I said, she has so much on her mind that she didn't think, oh, yeah, that's true. I have, because it ended up 4 of us ended up missing that because, I graduated and this other girl graduated, but she had 2 sisters who were also in the class. And so there were 4 of us because, of course, they're not going to miss her graduation either for a dancing class, Yeah, and just those skills can help. And actually, all 4 of us were taken out of that dance. So it wasn't like just me was taken out of the dance. All 4 of us were. Okay. So today you learn how to best ask a teacher or other trusted adult for help. So in the story, Caden needs to get help with some schoolwork. What are some other situations which asking an adult for help is the best solution? And I know if you're just virtual, you probably wouldn't know, but if you've been in person either for October or in, I guess, sometime between November to March, we did it. Me and Miss Wesley presented on bullying, which bullying is always a good reason to come and tell an adult. We always say, like, it's very important that you tell an adult, especially if you're being hurt or you see someone being hurt. When someone is being, hurt, when something is unsafe, when something is illegal. And we also talked about child abuse, which is illegal, and it does involve someone getting hurt. And The example like Caden, like when you have tried several times to solve the problem yourself, but you are unable to solve the problem by yourself. Besides a teacher, who are some other trusted adults you could ask for help? Well, we definitely went over that in the child abuse presentation. So usually people named family members, mom, dad, aunts, uncles, grandparents, just a neighbor, someone trusted, principal. Of course, you always have me or Miss Wesley. But yeah, those are all definitely people that you could go to help for any of these situations. So today you practice asking for help using assertiveness skills. So think about how being assertive can help you get what you need or want. Yeah, you got to remember being assertive is the best way to approach it, because if you're aggressive, nobody really wants to help you. If you're passive, no one really knows how to help you. But when you're assertive and you just say what you need, then you're more likely to get help. Okay. And remember, you can still be assertive and somebody choose not to help. But it's still best not to get very aggressive during that. Okay. Well, we are done with lesson 19. We only have 3 more to go. So we are done with our teen lessons. And I'm so excited to actually make it through a whole program. Like I keep saying, I've done this program in the past, but I've never made it all the way through. So I'm very excited to go on this journey with you guys. So I hope that you've enjoyed it as well. And also feel free, especially if you're listening virtually, but I have a feeling probably some of the people who are watching this also see me in person. So go ahead and just shoot me an email, or go ahead and write something in the form box for my classroom. Just saying if this has helped, if it hasn't helped, any suggestions. I'm definitely open for comments or concerns, okay? But in the meantime, we're getting closer to testing, so hopefully I will get to see some of you guys that are virtual during testing, even if it's just like a hi, I've never met you before, because I know I get really excited when I know I keep talking to this one kid. I'm like, you're new, and he's like, yeah, but you met me last week. Oh, I'm so sorry. I know there's so many of you guys now. I'm so used to only seeing like half of y'all, because from the beginning of the year there wasn't too many. But anyway, just so excited to meet you guys. So you could go ahead and just send me an email or send me a form if you just want to say hi, if you just want to say what you like or don't like about it. Yeah, just give me some kind of call out. All right, well, I look forward to doing the last 3 lessons with you guys. Have a good day.